The whip stitch. The whip stitch is used for sewing hems, patches, fur, lace, and tailoring. And in theater, the label is attached to the costumes with the whip stitch. So we're going to use 2 pieces of muslin for this sample, and we are going to finger press back the seam allowance and put our right sides together. So I have done roughly a 1/2 inch of seam allowance, and I have just folded it over and used my nail to finger press that in place. So I have 2 pieces, and I have my right sides together because the wrong side is where the seam allowance is. So I have my right sides together, lining up my 2 pieces of muslin, and I'm starting with a knot, and I am going to put my needle at an angle through folds of both seam allowance, picking up only a few threads from each. So I'm starting at the edge, and my needle is at an angle. So I'm starting from the edge, and my needle is at an angle. Pull it through. And we're going to do these stitches close together, but not too tight. So it's about 1/8 of an inch. So I enter with my needle angled. Pulling through, making sure that my 2 seam allowances are still lined up. And I like to use my thumbnail to kind of push against the needle. I often use my thumb in hand sewing as a stabilizer. So I'm always angling my needle at the back, coming through at the same depth, the same distance from the edge of my seam allowance each time, and the same spacing in between each stitch. And I'm going to continue in this fashion along this whole seam. And then when you open it up, the stitches are nice and even, and they are straight across the top of the fold, but slanted in the fold. And that is the whip stitch.